Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
We need to address, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country.
And this video has been brought to you by racism. Racism is accepted wherever true Americans are.
Perfect.
You need a permit to be in this park if you don't live here. So if you don't live here, you have to leave unless you go.
So you telling us we can't be no visitors in our people's houses? So you can't call no. So we can't call friends that to come get on the park.
You cannot be in this park.
State statute. If you don't live in the township, you can't be here. And if anybody outside of the township wants to be on here, you have to have a permit for them to be here.
Where's it at?
Got the permit. You go to the township building and read it.
Well, can we get this coordinates?
You can. We just told you to go up to the township building.
Where the township building?
Right over there.
The Brown Center?
Yes.
We can get it right now?
No, it's closed. Normal business hours.
I don't.
9 to 5.
So y'all saying we can't be visitors at our own community?
So
we can't help build the community either?
No, we're telling you. So we know, but listen, we're just, we know what the ordinance is. I know, but because you don't know what the ordinance is, it's not our fault. So if we ask you for your ID and you don't live here, you have to leave. Otherwise, you're against the ordinance.
So I guess we trespassing. So you saying we trespassing? So you saying we trespassing?
You don't want to say that though.
We don't have to.
So are we trespassing?
And it is true. So if I feel like you're getting harassed right now, you can go and pick up the ordinance tomorrow, and then you can come to our station and file a complaint. I'm telling you what the ordinance is. When you go tomorrow, pick up the ordinance,
Nothing
it's going to say that.
at all.
Okay? And then you're going to know we're telling you the truth. It doesn't matter. I know, yeah, like, that's the key word you say. Then we'll know. That's what I'm saying. We don't know. It doesn't matter if you don't take this speech right now.
That's too much. Too much. For a bench warrant, they talk about bench warrant. Now we can't play on public courts. We can't play on public courts. They're public servants, but we can't play on public.
Now let me tell you something. So you have these brothers that are there simply actually playing basketball. They're not loitering. They're out there playing basketball, right? And I think you saw one of the brothers there. I think he might have been maybe like a father or an older male that was there because he had on like a lantern or something like that, because one of the cops, I guess, went over to him and was going to get some type of identification or whatever it was. But it's amazing how many cops they had come to the scene as if a major crime, as if something serious really took place and was really happening. They weren't there distributing, selling any type of narcotics. They weren't there drinking. They weren't there smoking. They weren't there causing a fight or a ruckus or anything like that. They were playing basketball. You know what? Matter of fact, let me just draw back on one, right? Maybe, just maybe, during a game of, pickup 21, whatever it was that they might have been playing or just shooting around, maybe somebody was laughing a little bit too hard, right? Maybe somebody was laughing a little bit too loud, right? Maybe somebody was cracking jokes and one of the neighbors, they were able to hear it from their house and their window was closed, that old thing. But if you look at the area, it's not that difficult to pretty much hear somebody talk, right? Even outside of a home, if your sidewalk is in a sense close enough, you can hear somebody talking on a cell phone, passing by, in their car talking on the phone. Sometimes on a quiet day, you can hear your next door neighbors across the street talking, and they're not even really raising their voice, right? It's just the acoustics. It's just the way that sound just so happens to travel. Even with that, they're not doing anything illegal that will require several cop cars to come to that area as if something was taking place. You saw at one point in time, you see the traffic directly, behind the cops. You saw a car directly stop because they were just trying to figure out what was going on because there were so many cop cars there. You literally had people stopping, trying to observe what was taking place. And you had one of the brothers, none of the brothers was rude. They wasn't, cracking jokes on the cops, doing nothing like that. They were asking questions, legitimate questions. One of them stated before, was like, yo, I feel like I'm being harassed. The other cop was like, well, if you feel like you're being harassed, then you can go X, Y, and Z, and you can do this, and you can do that. No, it's like, yo, they're asking you very specific questions, and you're not giving specific answers. The cop was giving a generalized answers like, well, I told you. That don't mean nothing. You can say anything. Just because you got a badge and a utility belt don't mean that. You can make up any law that you want to. It don't mean it's an actual law. It's just magically a law just because you state it. Because you're in that costume. Without that costume, anything you say don't matter. So again, the brothers were asking very legitimate questions and they weren't getting exact answers. The only answer that they got, it was like, well, where's the town hall? So we could just go over there and get one, right? One of the brothers was like, yeah, we can just, it's over there. So we could just, go over there and get one. Before anybody could even make a move to even try to go in there, it was like, oh, it's closed. It's closed. No business hours. No business hours. So I was like, okay, fine, no problem. Now this is my thing. This is how I feel that the situation could have very easily be cleared, right? These are officers. They're patrolling the streets, using this time. This is not them patrolling the streets. This is them taking a break. That's all this is. Because all of those officers ain't even needed. They know ain't nothing going on, but they're just there because, hey, well, I don't feel like actually driving around, so let me just like sit here for a minute and just close my eyes. I promise you, I've done enough videos where cops are on the clock and getting overtime, and they were caught sleeping on the job on the camera directly at the base, whatever, at the station. They're sleeping on the job, playing video games, watching movies, listening to music. They're supposed to be out there out on the street patrolling. They're not doing none of that. They're just collecting money. That's it. So again, that's why a lot of those cop cars are there. They're not there for anything. I'm pretty sure ain't nobody really request that much backup for a situation that didn't even need backup. I'm pretty sure they didn't. They just heard something and it was like, oh, let me just hurry up and drove over there. Right. And that was it. But again, you have these cops there. The taxpayers are paying directly for them. Why is it that none of these cops had, like, let's say, some type of a slip that they could just like sign for them to be at the park so it wouldn't be a problem? Why couldn't you do that? What would be so difficult about actually doing that? You're going to try to enforce something, but you're not going to try to really rectify the situation. You're in a sense making it worse by having all of these officers there and these black men there. And this is in public, mind you, out there in the open. So it automatically looks like the black men and the young black men there are automatically in the wrong. Like they did something in order for all of the police presence to basically be sent upon them. They didn't do nothing wrong. I promise you, more than likely, you had one of those neighbors that don't know how to mind their business, decided that they wanted to sit up there and be bored and call the police. 9 times out of 10, that's how these situations happen. Because police don't just show up to parks with guys playing basketball. If it just look like people playing basketball, just having a fun time, police ain't really showing up. I've never in my lifetime had police roll up and be like, yeah, y'all can't play here. Y'all can't play here. The cops wanted to say like, oh, this it's a gated community, all this other type of stuff. Whatever they wanted to try to say it's private, right? You heard one of the guys, if not two of them. It's like, what if we're here with family? What if we're like, friends of the family, whatever it is, and we just came here to play, right? And they still didn't really give an answer. Like, well, you have to have a slip or whatever it is. Such and such is basically closed. So, you just got to get off the court. That's all it is. I promise you, if this was like a group of white kids doing this, these cops wouldn't have showed up. Better yet, if it was a group of white kids and looking at the time of day, the cops would have more than likely got out the car and shot a few hoops directly with the kids. They would have did that. They would have did that to show, good police presence, to uplift the community, to show positive, police and police work. They would have did that. That would have been a great video, great photo op. That would have been a great story on some local station. Then it would have, gotten pushed out to everybody else at Fox and MSNBC and all these other stations, and people just would have been, their tears would have just been coming right down their cheek. Like, oh, look at the cops. They really care about the kids. They really care about us. Oh, look at the cops. But when it's black, no, we don't care. You ain't supposed to be here. That's all it is. I'm white and I say so. That's it. That's all it is. If they really wanted to fix the situation, they could have fixed the situation. But that's not what they wanted to do. They don't like the fact that the young black men are there. They don't like the fact that it's a group. They don't like the fact that they are on the park. They don't like the fact that they're in the community, right? And they don't like the fact that they can't just pick them up and arrest them for doing something illegal and making money off of them as well. They don't like that. So this is how they rectify that situation. It's like, oh, you want to come out here and think you're going to have fun? Whoop, not today. Not today. You're going to go back to wherever you came from. You're not going to be here. That's all it is. I'm white and I say so. And that's a shame. Like I said before, you can't even be black and just play basketball. Can't even just do that. Can't even just do it. Because automatically the police are going to show up just to stop your fun.